himself and sorry about that.
Oh, no, that was me,
It
bud.
tells okay. I think he introduced himself properly, and I think that I know that when he introduced himself, he had a smile on his face. Is that correct, Peyton?
Yes.
You had a smile, and you introduced yourself and you gave them the frontal view and the side view before they came to the door to make sure that they knew that you were not not
I'm going to
intimidating.
demonstrate while you're talking.
So the view that we display when we do that is to show that we're not there for harm and we're not there to intimidate. So I'm certain that you probably practice using that. The only thing that I would add to your script is, do you know anybody in your neighborhood that needs to buy or sell within the next 30 days or 60 days? And if they respond favorably, that they know someone, then that gives you something else to talk about while you're at the door. The other thing that you could do is that you could turn the conversation and make it personal to them. And the next question would be, if they respond favorably or unfavorably, it doesn't matter. Then you say, what about you? And how long have you owned your house in the neighborhood? And if you were to move, where do you think you might go? So those are some follow-up hooks that you can add to your script in order to create an environment where you don't walk away from the door empty-handed, and you get them to talk more about what their intentions are now and in the future. Back to you.
You nailed it. So I'll do just a bit more clarification to what Jerome threw out there, but you nailed it, buddy. That was exactly what I was thinking. So there's literally those key steps. We're going to knock on the door. So it is knock on the door, turn, give them a profile. So that, again, you're not hiding anything. Don't have your hands hidden. Don't have your hands closed or anything, but just give them a good profile look that, you know, you're out and you're looking around the neighborhood. You don't want to do this to them, because now you could be hiding something. And of course, let me show you the real discomfort. This is if you get too close, right? Is this a little creepy when just picture this looking in your door? So give them that space. Once you knock, step back, give them the profile. Smile, because people know that's a friendly look. It's a comfort aspect on things with that. And then, yes, introduce yourself. Great introduction. Hi, my name's Peyton. I happen to be a local realtor. The reason I'm coming out. So this would be one thing that I would have you do, Peyton. They don't need to know that you're new in the business.
Okay.
Don't tell them that.
Okay.
Why are you really out there in the market? How you doing, bud? Why are you really out there
or list
knocking
somebody
on those
else's
doors?
home that they know?
Say that again.
I said to either list their home or list somebody else's home that's looking to sell that they know.
Okay, now make it about them. Say you, because you're really saying the same thing, but give them something that they would be interested in.
Help them find their dream home in the future.
Could be that. How's the market right now?
I would say it's teetering a little bit towards even, but still in a seller's market.
Okay. All right. I want to give the positive flavor. So what you might add is this. The reason I'm in the marketplace right now is that our inventory is down. Is your inventory down, Peyton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it's how much?
I do not know how much. Well, mine is
No,
zero.
how much is yours?
Zero. I thought you were talking my office, but personally zero.
Yeah. Yeah, we always use both of them. Sometimes we're going to use the office, the company. We're going to speak of the market. But right now, here's what we definitely know. The market's inventory is down. Now it's starting to grow, but are we still looking to gain inventory? And the answer is yes. So let them know that right now we're still experiencing historical lows in regards to inventory. Oh, well, gee, I heard that it's going up. Well, it is, but it's not where it needs to be, and we're still looking. So the reason I stopped by is because we're trying to find individuals who'd be thinking of moving. Now, while I'm standing, I do this. So which one of your neighbors may be moving? You're talking.
Yeah, with your
Turn.
hands.
Which one of your neighbors, and spread your hands and go out, which one of your neighbors, and then slowly turn back, is going to be moving? You'd be shocked how often with that question, there's going to be a neighbor who can tell you who's moving. Okay. Now they say, well, gee, I don't know of anybody. Next question. How about you? Have you given, and guys, this is key verbiage. Have you given any thought of moving anytime in the nearer future? Have you given any thought? Are you thinking? Any variation toward that, because people were looking for the individuals who are thinking of moving. If they knew they wanted to move, a sign would be in the front yard. So that's key verbiage. Now, what are most going to say? Very quickly, no. Some of them are going to go, well, no. And what did they just do? Talk to me. We're a small group. Anybody?
That they possibly might be wanting to.
Well, matter of fact, I want to get more succinct on it, Peyton. If I just ask them, have you thought about it? Because that was my question. And they go, no. What did they just do?
They thought about it.
So what did you get? What was the real answer to the question? Let's put it in our words. What did we hear them say to, have you thought about it? What was the one word answer?
Yes.
Guys, that's what you've got to pick up. That simple little change in regards to your dialogue, in the conversation that you're having with them, you just got a yes. It didn't sound like that, but that's what you had to hear because of what you asked. Have you thought about it? It could come out, by the way, as, well, not for another 3 months. That's a yes. Could be, well, it depends. Or it could be that they get any more specific. Well, it depends on whether this job transfer I'm up for comes out. All of those are yeses. But it shows the importance of not just going out and talking to people, guys. Do what Peyton is doing. That puts you there when the opportunity comes up. But what's even more important is when you're there, is that you're good when you are there. Being good when you are there is having great verbiage, great dialogue, great questions. And guys, we were just talking about it. Maybe before you leave, I'll introduce you to Michael, who's going to join us here in Rochester. He's over here filling out his paperwork and ignoring me like he doesn't even hear me. But I'm introducing you to Michael, but we were just talking about this. It's go out and talk to people, but be good when you're there. Have the great verbiage when you're there. Have the dialogue when you're there. That way, instead of having to talk to 300 people to get one person who not only says yes and signs a contract, but they say yes and it actually closes. So there's a big difference when you have that happen. But have the great dialogue, okay? So, yeah, Jerome, awesome. You nailed it. And by the way, the verbiage I gave you, where are you going to find that at?
The script book.
In the script book. And I'll put it, a friend of mine, John Tenza, I'd always ask John, that was, oh man, that was great verbiage. Where do you have that at? He said, it's in the book. And it wasn't a script book. It was 3 books. And I had to go find it. You guys, you have a very succinct that right now is the newer agents. You need to learn that verbiage and dialogue and have the gumption, the guts to ask great questions. So, by the way, how many of you have signed up for the School of Hard Knocks? I see one hand. Peyton, are you on it?
I tried to get the time off, but my supervisor would not let me. So I did ask, is there any way that I could pay, and because you guys are going to be doing activities, right? Is there any way I could pay and get the activities?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be the class, but I'll save you money and tell you this. Make sure you did everything in Speedboard.
Okay.
But above all else, here's the most important assignment that you guys will have as part of the School of Hard Knocks. It's do 3 or 4 mornings of prospecting sessions. Now, if they're in the afternoon or if they're in the evenings, you do it when you can do it, but we want 3 to 4 prospecting sessions each week. Now, that means that you've talked to at least 10 people. I'll give it to you in general terms for this. But that's the primary. And the other part, know that in the School of Hard Knocks, if, for example, we teach for sale by owners, we're going to practice, drill, and rehearse in small groups for 1 hour is our goal. We're going to break down and debrief that. And then we're going to have 1 hour of where in small groups, we're making contacts. We're calling for sale by owners. So that's why it's like, to get anything, no, I can get you the book. That's not a problem. Most of what's in the book? The scripts. It was easy for Alex and I to make an adjustment to the program because most of it is you guys in action. So he and I are going to do a whole lot of coaching and a lot less education. As I've been saying, a lot less education, a whole lot more action, please. Kind of like an old Elvis tune, if you know Elvis. A lot less education, a whole lot of action, please. Caroline knows that one. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right. But yeah, let me know on that, Peyton, if it really makes a difference. But that would be the key stuff. And I'll even allow your manager to share with you what those assignments were, because you could participate from that direction on whatever they may end up doing within the office. But good stuff. So I love that share. And guys, this is the benefit of these bi-weekly calls, what you can learn from each other's, because unless if you're in action and you're getting broken bones and a few bruises, a black eye, somebody chipped a tooth because they punched you in the face, you got to get those. And then you got to bring them to me so that I can give you some verbiage, some dialogue, some replanting in the head as to how you might take care of that. But that's where that's important. So let's, has anybody else got great news? The aspect of like Andre with a couple of sales, or anybody take a new listing? Anybody have that? You do, Liz, I saw a little head shake there.
Yeah, I have 3 closings coming up next week. Or this month, I
3?
should say. We're straightening out the dates, but yeah. And I will be graduating from the Mentee program with these next 2 deals.
Awesome. And what were the sources on yours?
I work full-time for a school district, so a lot of my clients have been colleagues and friends of my kids' parents. So
We call that SOI, Sphere of
Yes.
influence. You heard that, Michael, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep. Sphere of
Doing all the
influence.
SOIs. So, and then like marketing myself on my Facebook page has been really helpful. I've had people like my latest client sent me a listing and was like, I think I posted about a recent sale that I did, and he said, "Hey, I want to see a house." And within a week, we had a deal on the table, and we were in escrow. So, I don't know.
Awesome.
It's been really awesome.
I love it. And there's the great example, guys. And what I was sharing with Michael earlier, it's all about your sphere of influence. If you've been at this for 30 days or longer and you haven't got anything yet, you probably haven't had an actual conversation with everybody in your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
If I were a betting man, I'd bet every one of you $1,000 and I would make a lot of money, even if I had to pay a couple of you off. But that, gang, that's where it's at. It's in your
Yeah.
sphere of influence. So make sure that you do what Liz has done. You know, actually here in Rochester, I had one of our mentees. I said, you got to go back and work at the hospital more, which sounds kind of screwy, but that is where her sphere of influence is at. She's only been here for a short time, like a year or two. So the biggest part of the sphere of influence, the people that she knows, is within the hospital. So go back there and now just know that you need to talk to people, work upon the relationship you have, and make sure that they know that you do real estate. Talk real estate all of the time. Anybody else have good news that they can share? Just take yourself off mute.
This is Jerome. I have a good news report that happened to me over the weekend.
Yeah.
I have a client who I'm working with, and I've been working with for quite a while. And she calls me up and she says, no, I called her and she says, I'm having a bad day. And she says, well, I said, what's wrong? What's going on? And she says, I have to go and get a CT scan at a local site, and it just happens to be in Royal Oak, and I live in Troy. And she says, because I have to have anesthesia, I'm not going to be able to drive. So I said, can I help? And she said, well, yes, can you? I said, sure. So I jumped in my vehicle. I'm about 7 minutes from the facility where she needed to get the CT scan. And I met her there and I said, I'm prepared to help in any way possible. While I was there, her daughter shows up, who was gonna give her a ride. And her daughter says, after seeing my real estate lapel pin, and by the way, I wear mine, it's part of my uniform. And her daughter says to me, I'm interested in getting into real estate. So I said, how can I help? And she said, I went with another brand and they were blue, and I didn't have a very good experience. Can you help me? I said, sure. So I indicated to her that if you will, here's my business card, and if you will call me, I will talk to you about what it takes in order to get started in real estate. So that was my feel-good story that happened strictly by accident. I hadn't planned it, I hadn't scripted it, but because I was wearing my real estate pin, it opened the conversation and it opened the door for me to recruit an agent.
I love the aspect that, you know, when you get down to it, you're serving. You're serving others, and because you're serving others and you're marketing yourself, it's the aspect that, you know, people are going to talk real estate, and because they realize who you are, that's when you're going to again find business. So Jerome, you're just it's awesome stuff. Every time you share, there's some good stuff. I really appreciate it. And for those who don't know, Jerome is one of our awesome mentors out of the Troy office. Caroline, by the way, who's one of the most awesome mentors and going to be a team leader for us at the School of Hard Knocks, brought up a great idea here too. So she said, record your calls and watch the tape. you can actually, and if you're part of the Extraordinary Agents Facebook page, Alex just put something out there, which is a great example of a FSBO call, and two, how you could record yourself. But Caroline, I see you put yourself up there. Do you want to expand on what your idea is? If you can, I don't know if you dare do it while you're driving or not. But if you do, just take yourself off. Otherwise, I'll continue on. But simply put the call on speaker. Oh, I don't know if we're going to get you. I can hear you a little bit. You're in that dead zone right now, Caroline. Well, bottom line, here's what Caroline is suggesting then is simply put your phone on speaker, and then have I use a camera here. If you've got my laptop would do the same thing, guys, and it would use that. Yeah, Caroline, you're breaking up too much there. You're in that dead zone. Yeah, we'll get her in here some point. So anyway, just play it back and listen to yourself afterward. And then remember the process, and it's kind of Peyton what I gave you without saying, here's actually the process. But it is this. Introduce yourself, state the reason you're calling, identify whether or not they're a prospect, ask for the referral or who do they know that is a prospect, and then close. Now it's either close the phone conversation or close for the appointment or close for the information. Okay, so that's the simple process. And when you play it back, you're going to hear, what did I really sound like? Did I choke? Did I stutter? Were there too many hesitations? Did I do, so, look for your little quirks. Look for your colloquial, I think it's a big word, but repeating words. I see there's my now I'm conscious of it simply because we're talking on it. There's nothing wrong with a pause, because when you're doing your it's a good place for a pause. You don't need to say anything, and it doesn't need to be a noise. So look for your colloquial words. Actually is one of mine. I pick on Alex. If anybody listens to Alex, do you know his? I shouldn't talk about him, but he knows I pick on him with this one. Right. It's the acknowledgement phase of the response pattern. His is right. Only goes right. If we give the same one over and over again, it kind of loses the sincerity. So watch for your repeating words. You don't want to abuse them. Yeah, Caroline, I can appreciate that. Which is a great response. It's a great acknowledgement. I can appreciate that. But again, if they hear it over and over and over again, it begins to lose the sincerity. So by doing the suggestion that she's got, that's awesome. And I know, Kenyatta, I'm just reading yours right now, but I have been talking to people more, giving out business cards. This is awesome, Kenyatta. I know that's a big part. Everywhere I go now, the grocery store, the bank, getting an oil change. Perfect. Kenyatta, you're nailing it. So if you guys are dual career, this is something that Kenyatta and I have been talking about for a while, and now her mentors also. But it's just everywhere we go, we've got to talk to people. Every place we go, there's an opportunity that we can talk to people. So 10:32 here, let's do a shift. You guys have been working. We know that the primary thing that we have to do is to talk to people. We either are going out, as Kenyatta put it in the chat room, we're either going out and we're talking to people, or we're doing the things that will get people to talk to us. And Peyton, I'm so glad that you brought that up from the last Lunch and Learn, because for those who don't know what Peyton was referring to is, I had two gentlemen on. One was Kyle Matta. Kyle, who in his 6th year of the business did $28 million in closings. 28. The other I had was Phil Cini. Phil, also in the business for 6 years, did 18 million. And what Peyton was telling you is that those two individuals doing that volume was out knocking on doors. That matter of fact, that day, each had already talked to 10 plus people in their sphere of influence already that day when they jumped on the call at noon. These are two individuals that did 18 and 28 million, and it was their 6th year in the business. So one of the best things you could do is to look at somebody like that and then go do what they do. Only in this case, you're brand new. You're not going to do the same thing that they're doing right now and expect the same results. But you should be doing the same thing and making more of it happen. One of the things Kyle used to do was an open house whenever he got a chance. Oh, not just on a Saturday or Sunday. Where else can you sit and have people come to you? What better excuse do you have than to go knock on the doors prior to, talk to the 5 on either side and the 10 across the street, or 10 on either side and the 20 across the street? What better reason do you have outside of, I have a buyer? Guys, I'm giving you all kinds of reasons for you to go knock on the door, and all you've got to do is go do it. And if you really need this and your mentor hasn't done it, ask them to go knock on doors with you. Ask them to show you how. I can tell you, Janelle, you're still on, are you not? I'm just going to take a peek here. Are you there,
Yes,
Janelle?
I am. How
Oh,
are you?
okay. You had to go get brought in, didn't you? Or on the
I was
camera
sitting here,
because
I
you were
missed
sitting
it
at the
though.
other end. Hey, just share with people, because when you and I were together a couple of weeks back, it was like you and I are going, I don't understand. It's like, would you share your first year and
My
what
first
you
year?
did?
Yeah,
Yeah, what did
absolutely.
you do, and what kind of volume, and what caused you to have the level of success that you did? And let's start with what you did your first year.
Yeah, absolutely. So my first year I sold 33 or 39 properties. I got a subdivision. I do a lot of new construction as well. And I met a developer, and I really just like put myself out there. I would leave business cards on bulldozer seats. I would just, no matter where I was, I would always just talk real estate, but not in a salesy way, but like it always gets brought up in a conversation. And then people would not know it's me. Like one time I was camping and these people were at a house and they wanted to see it, and I was there and I like took them. I didn't have the nicest clothes, but I took them. And then there was a guy that showed up and I ended up working with him as well. And I mean, you never know where you're gonna meet anybody. And so my first year I did 5 million. And this year I had a huge goal for my second year of beating that. And I did beat my goal already. And I'm going towards where my goal is like 8 million this year. And I'm past 6 right now. So
Wait a minute. I think I've got to get clarification for everybody to understand. So last year was your first year
correct.
and you did 5 million.
Correct.
And now we're in the midst of year 2 and you are already at 8 million.
Well, that's my goal. I'm past 6, but my goal is to get to 8.
You're past last year. Okay. And you're on your way to 8 million and maybe even surpassing that.
Yes.
Because we're only 2/3 of the way through the year. You're awesome. You know that.
Thank you.
But you had said something aspect of, but last year, were you not still working another job?
I worked full time. I went part time because I got so busy. And then thankfully I had a job that didn't want me to quit. And so they gave me a little bit of lenience, but then I just got way too busy and I officially quit everything in November. So this year will be a full year of being self-employed in November. So
Wow. So maybe I'm not hearing things right. So you were working a 5 or a
a 9 to
full-time
6.
job,
Yep,
9 to 6, and you still did $5 million in production.
I did.
How?
I think the most important thing about being an agent, I guess, like my biggest thing when I first got my license was I wanted all the other agents to take me seriously, know that I'm like, I can communicate, I'm organized, I'm going to get the job done no matter what. And that's extremely important. And I have a great relationship now with agents. And not only do I do that, my clients too, like my clients need me. Like, I feel like there's a lot of agents out there that they don't realize it's like a 5-minute conversation sometimes. Like just step away from what you're doing for 5 minutes and just answer the phone because they're free right then and there. And I'm a person like I don't like to-do list. So I get things done right when they come to me. And then then I have more free time in the end of that. And people love that. Like my clients like instant gratification. Like that is what I give them immediately the moment they meet me, instant gratification. No matter who you are, seller, buyer, it's going to be instant. And I'm always available.
Wow. Wow. So when did you do the business working 9 to 6?
A lot in the bathroom. I had a lot of bathroom breaks or going outside and I'd walk. I used to work at a car dealership. So I'd walk like up and down cars on the phone and like bring a notepad with me. Bring a notebook wherever you go to is like huge. Like just take a notebook with you wherever you go. It's so important. Or have notes on your phone or they have like a to-do list on your phone. Greatest thing ever. Just to keep you organized and make sure that your clients are getting taken care of right then and there. Because if not, they're going to go find somebody else. Like you have to set yourself apart. Why do they pick you?
I think a key part is that you are always on. You didn't have breaks.
No.
You're always on. You're
Always
always on, guys. So, and I think, you know, again, if you heard what Janelle is saying, she was always out and looking for business, always telling people, I'm in the business, I'm looking for business. Who do you know? Leaving business cards everywhere. As simple as even putting them on the
builder's
equipment.
bulldozer seat. I actually sold 2 of his new constructions that way. He took about a month to call me, but he called me. So
You never know when. I had one that they called me up after 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they came to an open house and almost bought that house, but ended up buying a for sale by owner later on. And here they are 10 years later, now wanting to sell that house.
yeah.
It was
Also
10
like
years.
social media and reviews. Like reviews are huge. I get so much business from other agents out of state. Like they go to my website and they read my reviews and they call me. Like I have clients from Washington that I'm helping. I have clients from South Carolina, like referral businesses, but they directly call me based on my reviews.
Awesomeness. I
So
love it.
reviews are huge. Like make sure like as soon as every time you have a closing, get them to write a review and post it on social media and build a presence on that. Because that's super important because that's what everyone does. And like stories are really big. Everyone watches stories. No one is a scroller really anymore. And stories are huge.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you for sharing. And what's the good news from your mentee? What has she had in the last 2 weeks for us? As long as we have the mic open.
She learned, we learned how to do a listing today. And she has one buyer right now. So we're working with her to find her a place. She's cash buyer, so that's lovely. And just getting her familiar with contracts right now and just pushing to find some people. She has a great spear too, so I think she should utilize that to her advantage. And I think people forget to utilize their spear because that's where all your money is.
Have we done this to all of them yet?
I've been working on some calls, and yeah, that's how I
Is that a
actually
no?
ended up with. That's
That
how
a
I ended up
no?
with one buyer. No, it's a
And
yes.
there's, okay, so make sure, guys, because there's a great example. You've got the buyer because you've talked to your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
That's the way it's going to work. If you talk to them, business will come.
It
And
will.
if there's anybody in your phone you haven't talked to, and guys, I know, look, I've got 2,000 plus contacts in here. A boatload of them are realtors. Others are from brokers and agents who are out of state. But listen, you got a boatload of people that you can talk to. And all I do, and mentors remember this one, and they say, I don't have anybody. Log into their Facebook account and have them pull up their friends. Because guys, you can even have a conversation on Facebook. Look for the ones that are actually showing online, do an instant message. There's some great stuff there. So as long as I got you, let me ask, and this is a little bit of research for myself. Most of you, if not all of you, have been now with us for over 30 days. Have you completed speed board? Like if I came out as an example to Port Huron again, and I said, pull out your speed board, would I find that all items on that were checked off? And this is not punitive, guys. This is me doing a little bit of research. Would I find that it's all checked off, or would it be incomplete?
Incomplete.
Okay.
Still working on that.
All right. How about for you, Peyton?
Definitely would not be fully completed, no.
Okay. Liz, how about for you? I know she's working too, so I might not get something from her. And that's,
Hi, I'm sorry, what was that?
oh, so you weren't even listening? No,
No, I was listening, working
Um,
too. What's going on?
so speed board, if we were to come out to your office and take a look, would you have speed board completed 100%?
No, I don't have it completed.
Okay,
Actually, I should probably talk to you about that more.
okay, all right. And again, this is not a punitive thing. This is me doing research because I'm actually, I'm going to be gone starting tomorrow for a week.
Okay,
So I'm going to be with a vacation, but then I am going to be starting to come out to some of the offices to find out how we're doing, because if I speak honestly and frankly, we're not where we want you guys to be. And if I'm right, you're not where you want to be. And so I'm going to do kind of some research to find out why that may be happening. And a part of it is, are we completing speed board? And what I'm going to say I knew, but I didn't know that I know that I knew, is that we aren't getting that completed. So the next question will come up with that confirmed, why? And we'll find varying reasons why, but I'm thinking that that might be a big subject matter for our call in 2 weeks. So I really do appreciate that you guys are with us, and emphasize to the others, they're not here. And if I'm right, we'd be around 50 people who have not graduated off of the mentor program yet. And we've got 5 of you here, which tells me that you guys are the most serious. And of course, I've got, I believe, 3 of our great mentors on here. And they're going to hang around with me after this to be able to talk more and do some idea sharing and so on. So Jerome and Janelle and Caroline, you guys can share what you've just heard on this and give some feedback, because I really believe that we should be getting more people on this. And yeah, I know there's going to be people on vacation, but not this many. So anybody got a boy, could I use help with this one? I need help with, great
Darwin,
time,
I
guys.
have one.
Yeah.
I have one. One of the comments that comes up on reports consistently is, how do I get more Century 21 leads?
Oh, how do I get more Century 21 leads? Get off your butt and make some more contacts.
No,
So
they're talking about the part of our system that provides.
Yeah.
I'll just use the word Zap for right now. Moxie.
Yeah.
Moxie is the other.
Moxie, Engage, Leads Engine.
Yes, those guys.
You know what, for those, I don't know that there's anything that you really can do. It's more on what the brand may do to be able to generate more of those. You know, here, you know, Jerome, as I talk to our agents, even in the aspect of an interview, the hot subject of our competition, to where they've even changed their, we'll call it their platform, is that come join us. We'll put you with the team and they're going to give you a whole lot of leads. What a bunch of crap. I hope you don't mind my frankness.
No, I understand.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. So when we get those that come from those types of sources, that's a wonderful thing. I would tell you that be in the office. You want to get more leads? Be in the office. You'll get lucky. There are people who walk in that don't want to talk to somebody on a phone who's on virtual floor time. They want to talk to a real human being. So I know just yesterday, the new Lake Orion office had their first walk-in. That was something that never occurred in our previous location. If you're in the office, you might get lucky to get one. And guys, if you're working, the best place to be is in your office. Want more leads? Be in the office. You're going to get lucky. It could be that one of the experienced people have somebody and they can't work with them because they're too busy. And because you happen to be there, they'll say, hey, can you help me out with this? It may just be a referral fee. It could be like, for this weekend, I got to have somebody take one of mine, previous customer, and show a couple of houses. I'm going to pay an hourly fee because that's really all they're going to have to do is get them in the door. So I'll pay for somebody to go show 2 houses. Now it's, you know, it'll probably be $40, but money in your pocket and an experience that you otherwise wouldn't have had. So I'm going to say that I don't think there's anything that anybody can do to get more leads other than go do more business yourself and let, when those opportunities come, like, because we're associated with Op City, and if your office is not, talk to your manager and get them affiliated with Op City and get yourself on that program. That's a simple one that's out there. But just go to work, rely upon yourself. Anything that comes through are scraps. And by the way, they're leads, and leads need to be worked. And leads are probably 6 to 18 months before they're going to do something. 6 to 18 months. You want instant gratification? Pick up the phone or go knock on the door of a for sale by owner and expired. That's going to get you the instant gratification. Leads that will come to you will be because you generated them. I think it's can't beat around the bush with that puppy. It won't give you nothing but icing on the cake, but if you got no cake to put it on,
Icing is no
well,
good.
you know that. Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
you made me think of another feel-good story for today that I didn't even think about until you mentioned just now about coming to the office. Last week, I took a floor call, and I rarely take floor call because I'm so busy.
Yeah.
And it was a lead for a lease. And the first thing the person said to me is that I had somebody helping me, but they're not following up with me. So I said, "Is that so?" He said, "Well, you called the right person." And as a result of that, today I'm closing on the lease for them. And during the conversation, I found out about another business opportunity. Oh, by the way, I like how you operate. And by the way, my dad is looking to buy investment property in Southeast Michigan. And I'm going to introduce you to him. And that was all because I'm in the office on a regular basis, just because I was here. That's my story.
I love it. I'm glad. That's a great share and a great way for us to end, other than me to introduce this guy. So Michael, just get a little closer here, my friend. So Michael just joined us. So you guys say welcome, Michael.
Welcome,
Go ahead.
Michael.
How are you?
Happy to see you. And thanks
absolutely.
for that big smile. I can tell he's excited.
Ain't no doubt. So he's actually just finished signing all his paperwork. He's going to start the class on the 13th. So he's got a little bit of a road that he's hoeing here, but I just, as long as I got him here, I wanted to, he's been in the background filling out all his paperwork, but I wanted him to see you guys and what we do. And just that great welcome. So
Thanks, sir.
absolutely. So you guys will see him in well, I'm going to say a few weeks. It'll be at least 6, 7 weeks, and then we'll see him, because he's going to pass that puppy on the first try.